What's up, guys? It's you, and welcome to my first ever official top 5 video that I'm doing here on the channel. I don't think this will be a continued series, but I was just sitting around doing homework, and I'm like, let me check Smogon real quick. Because that's the thing to do when you like to procrastinate. And you know what I found? Okay, so there's this thread to where this dude took the demo and found out the stats for all the upcoming Mega Pokemon. I'm super excited, so I am here to bring you the top 5 potential competitive Mega Pokemon for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Let's jump into the list at number 5. We have Sceptile first. And the reason I put Sceptile on this list over everything else is because Sceptile's kind of unique typing and immunity to electric lends itself to being really valuable on a lot of competitive teams, which I think is what gave it the edge over stuff like Altaria. And plus, Sceptile can drop nukes at base 145 special attack and base 145 speed. It outruns basically the entire metagame and will actually fit really well on bird spam style of teams. And the reason that I say that is because it's neutral to rock, and it takes no damage from electric. It actually gets a speed boost from it because of Lightning Rod, so it can switch in on electric attacks. It can provide immense team support to bird spam type teams, which is probably what I'm going to be running when the meta kind of settles down after the almighty beasts have been banned. And, all that great stuff. Mega Sceptile, super hyped for it. If you guys didn't know its stat line, I will probably have it up on screen right now. 70 base HP, 110 base attack, 75 defense, 145 special attack, 85 special defense, and 145 speed. Super hyped. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a super powerful threat in a Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, looking at number 4 on the list, we have Slowbro. And the reason I put Slowbro at 4 is because bulky water types have kind of a tradition of being very good in the meta ever since Gen 4. In Gen 4, you had stuff like Suicune. Even in Gen 3, you have stuff like Swampert, which pretty much defines Gen 3 OU at this point. And then, even in this meta, you have still Suicune as a pretty prevalent force. You have Slowbro as a pretty prevalent force. But now, with Mega Slowbro, this thing is ridiculous. Let me just read off its stat line to you real quick. Even though I know you guys can read and can see it on the screen right now, it has base 95 HP, so pretty good. Base 75 attack, it doesn't really need it. Base 180 defense. I cannot stress how much base 180 defense means for a Pokemon. This means it can pretty much check every relevant physical threat in the tier. It can take a ton of damage. It can slack off whatever it wants to. It can scald stuff with its very respectable base 130 special attack. Has base 80 special defense, which isn't great, and base 30 speed. So this gives it immediately 3 priorities. 1 is a staple for stall and checking physical threats, because approximately 2/3 of the meta right now is physical, and people tend to lean towards physical threats more because of the ever-present threat of Chansey and whatnot. And this basically allows you to check every physical threat you will see. Mega Medicham, even if it's running Thunder Punch, no siree, base 80, or 180 defense rather, can slack it off. It's amazing. The second role is as a win condition, specifically for bulky offense and or stall, because it can't be critted. It can just Calm Mind forever and ever. It's amazing. It can do all that stuff. Base, like 252 plus as far as HP and defense goes, will give you a ton of extra bulk. People will have to break through you with special attacks, and if you get a couple of Calm Minds up, you're going to be very hard to stop. The fourth role is as a Trick Room Sweeper. I believe Slowbro gets Nasty Plot. If you set up a Trick Room and you set up a Nasty Plot, annihilation. Nothing really can touch you because a majority, I think actually all priority attacks are physical. So you won't be worn down by priority very well, and you can actually take a lot of hits under Trick Room and just annihilate stuff, because base 130 special attack is not bad by any means. Okay, now we're jumping into number 3 on the list, and I've chosen to exclude Megalodios, Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, and Mega Rayquaza, because I feel like those things are instantaneously going to be Ubers, and this is kind of an OU list. We have Mega Beedrill at number 3, regardless. So if you look at Mega Beedrill's stats, base 65 HP, which is pretty poor, base 150 attack. Like, with adaptability, my name is I resist Bullet Punch, and I will destroy your metagame. Base 40 defense, which is horrible. Base 15 special attack, terrible. Base 80 special defense, which isn't bad, it's about average. Then base 145 speed, allowing it to speed tie Mega Sceptile, which, unless you really don't want to take on Mega Beedrill, you're going to be forced to run Timid on Mega Sceptile, which is going to be kind of weird. But regardless, look at that stat line. Base 150 attack. Like, I don't care if I'm weak to priority and also weak to stealth rocks. I can switch out to a dedicated wall and or something to sack, because Mega Beedrill is an absolute monster with adaptability. Even if it doesn't have very high base-powered moves to spam, it's going to be kind of like Aegislash in that sense, except instead of having stance change, it's going to have adaptability. It will ruin things. The 30% poison chance is going to be really helpful for breaking down walls. Fell Stinger could give it a potential +3, which is crazy. Like, nothing switches into a +3 Beedrill at all. It will annihilate things. I think Mega Beedrill will be very, very good as kind of a late game cleaner, and it can also 6-0 a lot of offensive teams, because offensive teams without Talonflame are going to be very, very scared of this thing. And number, I think we'll jump into number 2 on my list right now, which is Mega Metagross. Mega Metagross. I'll read you off the stat line first. Base 80 HP. About average. Base 145 attack. That's scary. Run for your life. Base 150 defense. I tank all the physical hits. Base 105 special attack. You know, you can go mixed if you really want to. Want to pick off some defensive Venusaurs. You can run Psychic. That's pretty cool. Base 110. 110 special defense. I get that it has a base 150 defense, but when you give something mixed, like that much mixed bulk of base 80 HP, base 150 defense, base 110 special defense, it's going to take all the hits. It also has a base 110 speed, which allows it to speed tie if running max speed Jolly with, it allows it to speed tie with very crucial base 110s. I believe Terrakion hits base 110, and either hits base 110 or base 108, but either benchmark is really good to hit. You can also run agility and run adamant. Metagross has amazing coverage, will hit extremely hard, has priority, is going to be a monster. It's so bulky, it's going to be amazing on offense. I may also make a team with Mega Metagross coming up here pretty quick, because we're almost to Oras now, and I already have one team built. I'm probably going to build a Mega Metagross team once things kind of settle down, but Mega Metagross is looking to be a very, very potent Steel Psychic type in the OU metagame. And rounding off the list, I think you guys could all see this one coming. Like, when I did my hype video for this, when this thing was first released, I was like, this thing is going to be a monster. There will not be a safe switch into this thing. And looking at its stats, I don't think there is ever going to be a safe switch into this. If you guys couldn't tell already, our number one Mega Pokemon, number one competitive Pokemon in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is going to be Mega Salamence. Mega Salamence is absolutely insane. If you look at this thing's stats, base 95 HP, that's excellent. Base 145 attack, only a 10-point buff, but when you get Flying Stab, Aerialate, and you also have Dragon Dance, it's not really a problem. Mega Salamance's problem was never hitting for power. It was the fact that it couldn't compete with stuff like Multiscale Dragonite, which really outclasses it, and is one reason why it kind of shifts between UU and BL every now and then. But now that it has an increase in attack, it's going to be an absolute monster. Base 130 defense, nice voice crack, but base 130 defense is absolutely insane, because you will come in and you will get an Intimidate, because if you're good, you're running Intimidate, you're not going to run Moxie, because you can stop stuff like Mamoswine from just having a field day. You can stop stuff like Landorus T from just having a field day. And then looking at its special attack, it has base 120 special attack. Like, this is not something you want to mess around with. Ferrothorn is not a free switch, because I guarantee there will be some variants of special Mega Salamence that are running around, just because you'll probably run like Frustration as one of your stabs just to get a flying stab, and then you can run stuff like Fire Blast, like Hydro Pump, like Draco Meteor in your other move slots that will just absolutely annihilate things. You also have a base 90 Spadef, which is 10 points boosted. It's pretty good. And then you also have a 20-point buff in speed. I cannot overstate how important this 20-point buff in speed is, because one problem with Salamence was the fact that it constantly gets outpaced by stuff like Terrakion that can just come in and Stone Edge it. And like, now, after you get a Dragon Dance up, it outspeeds the entire meta. Like, unless you're running something stupid like Agility Mega Sceptile, which don't run that, it's going to be a bad set. Like, Mega Salamence is going to be absolutely insane because of its wide move pool, because it gets access to Dragon Dance, because it now has Aerialate and can just run Frustration. Honestly, I see Sub Dragon Dance being a really, really prominent set because you can just sub up on a force switch, get up a Dragon Dance behind a sub, and then absolutely annihilate things because Dragon Flying coverage isn't horrible. It's not the best thing in the world by any means. You do get walled by most steel types. But hey, that's just a Gotharita or a Gothitelle away from solving all your problems right there. Honestly, this thing's going to be so good. I can't wait to abuse it before it inevitably goes to Ubers. Because honestly, when you're looking at something like this with such a huge stat line, it is probably going to go Ubers just because of its ability to pretty much hit everything in the game. You will be able to pick and choose what counters you, and that's what's going to be so great about Mega Salamence, because if you per se want to run Dragon Dance 3 attacks, even less things wall you. You only have to weaken checks instead of outright beating them with other Pokemon. And hey, Hyper Offense can beat a lot of current Salamence checks. This thing's looking a lot like Mega Mawile. I doubt it's going to be an OU for very long, but you know, we'll see if everything goes down and in an orderly fashion. So, if you guys enjoyed this top 5 video on top 5 competitive Pokemon for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, please make sure to leave a like, because it really does help show support for the stuff that I'm doing here on the channel. Also, make sure to answer today's comment question of the video, which is, what do you guys think of all these stats? I will leave the link to the thread down in the description below, because it's a very cool thread to check out. It features some new moves. It features all the new Mega Pokemon stats, RIP Mega Flygon, and with that, I urge you guys to subscribe if you guys are enjoying the constant content. And with that, I'll catch you on the flip-flop.